Koontz, Director of Relationship Management, and welcome to another episode of FM Corner. Today, continuing our topics over the last few weeks, speaking about facility managers. Today, we're going to talk about things that a facility manager needs to deliver for their vendors. We have spoken about some of this in the past. So if you've listened to past episodes, you will hear some things I'm sure that are probably familiar with her for you. What does facility manager need to deliver for their vendors? First question, sometimes people go, well, I don't need to do anything. They work for me. Yeah, that's right. So does your team on the facilities team. And you deliver things for them. Vendors are working for you. You need to deliver things for them just as well. That starts with, what are the expectations? Have you sat down with the vendor and set what the expectations are? What are the rules? What are the things that matter? What are the things that matter for your particular company that they need to know and understand? Some of them are different for every company. It's hard for the vendor to win if they don't know the rules. What are the expectations? How do you expect them to win if you don't sit down and take the time? They need to hear that from you. This is what I want. This is how I want it to work. These are the things that matter. Tell them what your non-negotiables are. If you want to understand why you may lose the opportunity to work with my company, here they are. Not 20 of them, 2 or 3. These are the things that will cost you my company's business. There are no questions, no nothing. This is it. Write them down. These 2 things, these 3 things, whatever they are. We won't have a negotiation session regarding those. If this happens, we're done. Make it clear. Clear. If this happens, we're done. And follow through. No second chances, no nothing. These are the things that cannot happen. They need to know. Give them honest feedback. Sit down with your vendors from time to time. Here's what you do really well. Let's keep doing those. Got to make sure we get those out there so you understand what you're doing really well. These are our opportunities. And then you ask them, what do you need from me? What do you need from me and my team? Let them tell you. Listen and act on it. Because you can do the same. You can help them. But tell them what was good and tell them what our opportunities are, and if you can, how to do that better. You have to have good listening skills. Your vendor is your partner. And you've heard me say that a ton of times. Your vendor is your partner. You have to have good listening skills. Your vendor can help you do your job better. Good vendors can tell you, here's what goes on in your buildings. Or this is how you've designed a certain thing. This doesn't work. I've been in 20 of your restaurants. This doesn't work. So you need to do this. Go look. They're probably right. They're probably exactly right. Because they want things to be right just as you do. Listen to them. Have a sense of fairness. What is fair and what is just? Get 2 sides. Listen to both. You're a facility manager and your manager calls you and they are in a heat about a vendor. Do not take that as gospel. By the same token, your vendor calls you straight out of the blue, starts telling you everything your manager's done. Wrong. Don't take that as gospel either. Always listen to both sides of the story. What happened? And the odds are when you're finished with both parts of the story, you still won't have all the truth. But you should have a pretty good picture. Then you make your decision of what you're going to do or how you're going to coach or whatever needs to happen. But do not. If your operations person calls you and says, this is, and you 5 minutes later call your vendor and go off, I am telling you right now, you will end up apologizing a lot of the time because there's more to it. You got to listen to the whole thing. And then you decide who is right, who is wrong, or neither. They're both right or they're both wrong. And then you do whatever you have to set the stage. But you have to operate from a sense of fairness. And the most critical one, your vendor needs to know you have their back when they're right. If they're doing exactly what you've coached and you've taught, and they're doing it the way that it's supposed to be done for your company, back them up. That's hard to do. One of the hardest things in the world for a facility manager, especially if you're sitting in a C-suite or meeting or whatever it may be, is to back your vendor. But you have to. You chose them, you picked them. If you know they're doing the right thing, back them up. Back them up. And last but not least, and I just said it just a moment ago, you got to be a good partner. They help you, you help them. You need to know as much about their business as they're trying to learn about yours. Because when you know how they do things and how they operate and what they stand for and all those different items, you will be much better served in your relationship with that vendor partner. So take the time, spend it with them, coach them, teach them, set your expectations, set your rules, and follow through. It's our episode for today. Look forward to seeing you on another episode of FM Corner next week. Thank you.